Perfect. So again, good afternoon. Welcome to what is at the moment our very first session of the Reinforcing Insights. These are very short, spot-on sessions that we have started organizing within the context of a EU-funded project called Reinforcing, where we want to dig a bit deeper into what is evolving, changing, advancing in relation to this very broad topic we tackle in Reinforcing, which is open, responsible research and innovation. Maybe some of you are familiar with this term, especially open science, responsible research, innovation are terms that have been used for a long time within the European context. Because of this growing trend of opening up research and innovation as much as possible, opening up in terms of making it more accessible and more transparent, but also in terms of involving different type of stakeholders in discussions around the direction that research and innovation should take. So both the governance of research and innovation, but also the outcomes and the processes themselves. We know that there are many things happening, at least in Europe. There is a lot of support that is being given in this direction in many fields. And if you look at the Reinforcing platform, you will find out more, and I will soon hand over to the Reinforcing coordinator to tell you a bit more about all this. But the discussion we will have today will be specifically focused on a very, very specific field, which is knowledge valorization. You have probably heard about these words. It's basically the process that allows research to leave academia and to go into the private sector, industry, and turn into entrepreneurial initiatives. We have some great speakers for today's session with us, but first of all, I would like to hand over to Angela Simone from the Bassetti Foundation in Milan, in Italy. She's the coordinator of the Reinforcing project, and she would like just to say a few words so for you to familiarize about not only the project, but the opportunities that we have coming up within this project, because we have also some grants that are being given to support initiatives in this field. So Angela, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Marcia. Good afternoon, everyone. We are very happy to have you today. Of course, the speakers that will present in a while, but also all of you, the audience, and the larger ORRI community, as we say in Reinforcing. So very active people trying to open up and get more responsible research and innovation processes and policies. Our project, Reinforcing, is a very ambitious project and really designed with and for the ORRI community. So people that since years, also thanks to the support of the European Commission, are working on open science and responsible research and innovation. Responsible research and innovation was a topic relevant, definitely central in Horizon 2020, but also elements of responsible research and innovation appeared in the previous framework program, and now we can say that responsible research and innovation together with open science, which is absolutely central and mandatory for all the applicants for European Commission grants, are fully integrated throughout the framework programs. What will happen in the next framework program? What is the future of this approach? I think that ORRI will remain and be a stable concept and approach more than ever, especially in these turbulent times, as also a peculiar European approach. But we really would like to explore how the concept and the principles of open responsible research and innovation are evolving thanks to these events that we are organizing thanks to the organization of our partner Stickydot. Reinforcing, as I said, is an ambitious project because we really like to discuss and dialogue with the ORRI community about the state of art of open responsible research and innovation and the future of open responsible research and innovation, or ORRI. But it's also a virtual place with services and opportunities for the community. So just to mention a couple of opportunities that are for the ORRI communities, I would like to share a very short presentation, a couple of slides about the activities of the reinforcing project. So it is a virtual hub, a virtual place to discuss about activities and principles and implementation of open responsible research and innovation, but it's also a virtual repository. So our website is meant to collect and gather past, present, and perhaps future initiatives on open responsible research and innovation in order to support organizations and institutions across Europe, organizations and institutions of any kind, private organizations, companies, but also public administration, CSOs, so actors that are willing to embark on the open and responsible research and innovation journey. So you can find resources, best practices, guidelines and tools to support you in this journey, but also trainings and other services for this aim. So the reinforcing platform, we are trying to populate the reinforcing platform, inheriting activities already accomplished in the past, thanks to European funds and beyond. But we also have practical and financial opportunities for all the organizations that would like to experiment with open responsible research and innovation during the reinforcing lifetime, which is quite long because we have 50 months to run activities under reinforcing. During reinforcing lifetime, we are launching 7 open calls using the cascading grant mechanism. So it means a lot of work for us, but also many opportunities, many chances to get a small grant for you all to experiment with open responsible research and innovation. We have just launched the 5th open calls. We have 2 kinds of grants according to the ORRI maturity, so the experience the organization have in terms of implementation of open responsible research and innovation, because we can really see a change in the institutions that are experimenting with open responsible research and innovation. So after the project funded, thanks to reinforcing, after this experience, thanks to reinforcing, we would like to see a different way to conduct and run research and innovation. And so to see an institutional change, as we say, and the ORRI community at large say, in open and responsible research and innovation. A few words about the current call, just launched a few days ago, that will close up at the very beginning of August. It is an incubator call, so the richer one. We have 60,000 for applicants for one year project to run activities connected to open responsible research and innovation with a specific focus, which is responsible digitalization. You can find all the information and details on the EU portal, of course, because it is a cascading grant mechanism in the realm of the European Commission funds, but also you can find all the information on our website, and we will also have 2 webinars to provide you with more information and to interact with the partners in charge of managing the calls if you have questions or doubts to apply for this opportunity. I think it's enough to introduce you reinforcing, because now it's really time to share thoughts with our two brilliant speakers today.
Thank you very much, Angela, for this introduction. So a good heads up for everyone who might be interested to apply to this call and this topic. So now let's dive into the focus of today's session. As I mentioned, we are going to talk about stakeholder engagement in knowledge valorization, and we are going to explain a little bit what we mean by this. But first of all, just a few words about who is today with us, and also who I am, that I actually just realized that I forgot to mention. So my name is Marzia Mazzonetto. I'm the CEO of a Brussels-based company called Stickydot, and where we specialize in stakeholder engagement in research and innovation. And we have with us today two speakers. Iphigenia Pottaki is policy officer at the European Commission. She is based at the DG Research and Innovation, where she works within the unit focused on valorization policies and intellectual property right management. And we also have Esteban Pelayo, who is the CEO of the Science Park of Alicante in Spain. And he is also involved in a EU-funded project called Covalio that you will probably hear being mentioned quite a lot in the coming conversations. So welcome to Iphigenia and Esteban. And as a first point that we would like to discuss with you today, so before we go a bit deeper into this topic, we think that we might need to clarify a bit what we mean by these key concepts that we have been mentioning. So we have already explained a bit what we mean by open responsible research and innovation, but it might be important also to define a little bit better what we mean by knowledge valorization on one side. So a very specific field within research and innovation, as well as what we mean by stakeholder engagement, which can take many shape in general within research innovation, and even more specifically within knowledge valorization. So maybe let's start with knowledge valorization. And I think, Iphigenia, you have a lot to tell us about what the European Commission identifies as knowledge valorization.
Thank you very much, Marzia. Thank you very much, Angela. Very, very happy to be here and also to learn about the Reinforcing project. So I come from the side of knowledge valorization, which is really a little bit new as a terminology. You know, Angela, you said that responsible research and innovation was already in the previous framework program. Knowledge valorization has really been defined as a concept in 2022, when we had the guiding principles for knowledge valorization, which was a European Council recommendation, and which defined what is knowledge valorization and what are the principles. So what basically what could be a way to have a common approach for the policymakers at the member states, at the regional level, and so on. So knowledge valorization is going beyond the concept of knowledge transfer that we used to have for a long time. And one of the basic differences is that it is very much based on multi-stakeholder engagement. So it is not knowledge produced and transferred to the market, but it's really a process of co-creation, which involves many, many stakeholders. Um, the definition that the guiding principles gave exactly was that knowledge valorization is the process of creating social and economic value from knowledge by linking different areas and sectors, and by transforming data, know-how, and research results into sustainable products, services, solutions, and knowledge-based policies that benefit society. So on the one hand, we have multi-stakeholder engagement, co-creation process. On the other hand, we have transdisciplinary approaches. So it is not only technologies, it is very much also social innovations. It's also very much about tacit knowledge, not only scientific knowledge. And on the other hand, it is about transferring the results, the innovative solutions, the services, the new products to society, to the market, and to the policymakers. So three channels. Now, maybe I can share. I will try to share if I. Okay, let's see. Um, no, I don't think I can share. Okay, let me just. Am I sharing now? Yes.
Yes, it's coming. Yes.
Super. Okay. Okay, I
Yes.
wasn't sure. So I really like this diagram because it shows a little bit, on the one hand, the actors, so the multi-stakeholder engagement, and on the other hand, what we had identified 4 years ago as the main channels of knowledge valorization. So academia, industry, co-creation, of research-driven spin-offs and startups, intermediaries, which are a broad range of organizations beyond also the knowledge transfer professionals. For example, living labs, science parks, and so on. Many organizations who play the role of supporting knowledge valorization. Then, as the fourth channel, we have the engagement of citizens, public bodies, and societal actors, which is the one that we are going to focus a lot more today. Then we have the intellectual property management and standardization. And finally, the policy uptake. So the way that knowledge valorization, that knowledge can inform better policy making. And as I said, in the guiding principles for knowledge valorization, it was already identified that one of the things that we need to do is to strengthen the engagement with citizens. So this would mean also, it meant, and we are still working on this, addressing sustainability, addressing societal challenges, having multidisciplinary collaborations, and also involving the social sciences, the humanities, the arts. So as I said, going very much beyond just the technologies. Now I stopped sharing this. I hope. Have I stopped sharing?
Yes. Yeah. Perfect.
Okay, super. So following the guiding principles for knowledge valorization, which as I said, were referring mainly to the policymakers, Uh, we continued our work with that, with a broad range of stakeholders who, who joined communities of practice in order to create codes of practice, now referring to the different stakeholders who are involved in the knowledge valorization. And our aim was to give practical guidance to the practitioners at the local level. And that is the reason also why we worked with many of those practitioners. I know Marcia and Angela, you were also involved in this effort. And so in March 2024, the Commission adopted the recommendation on the Code of Practice of Citizen Engagement for Knowledge Valorization. And what this is really supporting the implementation of the guiding principles, but through giving practical guidance, advice, and guidelines to stakeholders involved in citizen engagement. Now, I think why citizen engagement is very important is something that I think maybe to this group of participants is obvious. Okay, first of all, citizens, by being involved, they can better define their needs. They can support to make the solutions more adaptable to society, and therefore increase the potential for uptake by market, society, and policy, as I say, which is exactly what knowledge valorization is about. In the process, we found also a lot of other things why citizens are important and how citizens themselves benefit, but also how the whole process benefits by the involvement of citizens. And I think we can, with some examples later on, explore more on that. What I wanted to say now, because it's very, very timely, following the 4 codes of practice, which we developed for supporting the stakeholders to implement the guiding principles and to do knowledge valorization in a more effective way. And these codes of practice were, in addition to the one on citizen engagement, one on industry academia co-creation, and 2 previous ones, one on standardization and one on intellectual property management. So these 4 codes of practice, we now want to see how they have been uptaken by the stakeholders, by the communities. One of the issues we have been working with in knowledge valorization for the last years is also the question of awareness, because as I said, although it is a new terminology, it is not a new process in terms of research and innovation. And I would really encourage the participants and also the broader communities which are engaged with the project and with your work to take part in the survey, which is still open until Monday. And we very much would like to have the feedback regarding how useful are these codes, what needs to be done. So even if you have not use the coach, or even if people are still not aware of the coach, it would be very important to take part in the survey, which basically goes in 2 stages. So the first stage is about the awareness and the uptake, and then for those participants that have an interest to provide us more detailed feedback, which can affect the policies of the future, there will be a second stage to which they can participate. Maybe I can share again my screen just to show how they can. 1 second.
Yeah.
So, okay, so this is, you can see the QR code. So it is also in the knowledge valorization platform, which I will give the links to that later, and in the ERA policy platform, but also with the QR code, you can easily take part in this survey, which will help us a lot for the future policies. So I stop here for the time being.
Thank you very much, Iphigenia, for this very clear and broad explanation. I think it was really useful to set the scene of what we want to discuss today. Of course, yes, as you mentioned, within Open Responsible Research and Innovation, we have a particular interest for the citizen engagement element, but in general, the stakeholder engagement around this kind of processes is something that is really key for the focus of reinforcing. Now, I would like to also engage in a conversation with Esteban. So Esteban, as director of a science park, you are definitely a key player within what we have now probably understand better within what is the knowledge valorization field. So maybe you can tell us a little bit more about, so first of all, how knowledge valorization in general translates for you in the activities that you do, but also whether this element of stakeholder engagement in general, and then more specifically on the citizen engagement, also how does it takes shape, if it takes shapes, how does it take shape within the activities that the Science Park does? Thank you, Esteban.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation to Reinforcing Project, and congratulations for this initiative. And I like very much how we have started, because defining concept is quite relevant. I personally come from the community of responsible research and innovation, and help us, the practitioners and policymakers, to have clear guidance about what to do and what not to do. An initiative like this ones to organize this webinar and the intervention of Iphigenia Pottaki clearly explaining what we mean help us in the territory to apply very well the concepts, and is normal, and the evolution, the logical evolution, as you have been said, of responsible research and innovation to knowledge valorization and stakeholder engagement was logical, because citizen engagement was a key element on responsible research and innovation. And one thing is that we need to be very clear, and these initiatives are quite relevant in order to provide guidance, because otherwise we have people that get disconnected on this type of debates, and the effort that reinforcing and European Commission in general is doing in order to promote the concept are very welcome, because otherwise we have the people that see that these are not connected with their daily life, and less we have policies less inclusive. Well, speaking about knowledge valorization, we are the paradigm of knowledge valorization, because we are Science Park connected with the university. So our main target, or mainstream of activities is the valorization of knowledge that has been produced in the university. We have been go further, and we will I will have the opportunity to tell you later, but the key element is to have a foundation like Science Park in order to engage with the stakeholders in the territory for the knowledge valorization, not only what you may consider, which are the companies, which are the natural recipients of the technologies and innovation developed in the university, but other actors like municipalities, industrial association, and civil society are the key elements in the Science Park in this moment.
Thank you very much, Esteban. So, yeah, let's going a bit in this direction. Let's now, I think now that we have, I hope, a better understanding of the topics, the context we are dealing with in this session. And if it's something is not clear, sorry, I forgot to mention, but please don't hesitate to raise your hands or to write if you don't want to directly interact with us. Also, please write your comments and questions in the chat. We have prepared a conversation, but we are open also to take questions from all of you. So said this, as a next step, I would like to go a bit deeper into what is happening at the moment around all these very interesting aspects that we have just heard about. So explore a bit with you, what is the current landscape from two different perspectives. So on one side, what are the most recent developments at European level? Iphigenia, you have already mentioned quite a few very useful outputs that have been recently produced that are definitely being very, very useful to set the scene for developments in this field. But also whether there are, the Commission is also supporting many initiatives, many projects in this direction. And then also at the local level. So for example, within a specific territory like the Alicante area can be, how does this translate there, and whether something is happening in this direction, how is this stakeholder collaboration and engagement taking shape? So maybe, Iphigenia, we can again start with you. I'll hand over to you.
Okay, so basically there are two things. On the one hand, the policy initiatives, and on the other hand, let's say the project initiatives. Okay, So we are working on the one hand with, as I explained, for example, instruments like the codes of practice and so on. And on the other hand, we have been also launching calls for proposals to generate by now a large portfolio of projects for knowledge valorization, which range from the arts and the cultural institutions to experimentation. We have 2 times the experimentation calls, which are working very much with practitioners at the local level. One of them is Covalio, one of the projects funded under this. And we are continuing now to take stock of what has been already, what is already ongoing in terms of projects, which are not just projects because they have a direct feedback to policy. So our projects, they directly help us to develop new policies. And I think this is not just research, but directly feeding to the policy making. One of the things that now is very important for us is to take stock of what is ongoing and what we can already learn from this. Also, the survey is part of this. But at the same time, what you see at the broader policy level, uh, knowledge valorization is key to the European competitiveness. We had last year the Council conclusions, which mentioned very clearly that Europe faces a big challenge to translate research and innovation results into societal use and economic value, and to retain this economic and social value, especially the economic within the EU. So knowledge valorization is very crucial for boosting the European competitiveness, and as well as for reinforcing the trust of citizens in science and innovation. And one way to do that is by communicating the benefits of knowledge valorization, the outcomes, and how they affect people's lives. So we are currently now working on this, and at the same time uh, trying to take account of some of the initiatives that have already run. For example, last year we launched a European Citizens Hackathon for citizens, which was an initiative that ran in all member states and brought together citizens and researchers to together develop solutions for climate. And that was very interesting. First of all, it supported the objectives of the 2 European missions on cities and adaptation to climate change. So we connected valorization with the European policy objectives, but also with the citizens' needs. And it was an experiment to show how citizens and researchers can work together and can together develop innovative solutions that can be uptaken by the market and society. We want to continue with this kind of initiatives. We want to continue with experimentation, and maybe if we have time in the last part, maybe I can say what is currently ongoing and open for people to participate. So at the same time, this year, last month, in fact, the new ERA policy agenda was adopted. Knowledge valorization was, of course, an action in the previous ERA policy agenda, and this is where the codes of practice and so on came from. Now, in the new ERA policy agenda, knowledge valorization is a structural policy. So it's very important in supporting the objectives of the European research area. And we are now working on this, on how to strengthen knowledge valorization. For example, how to support capacity building in intermediary organizations for knowledge valorization. but also connecting to other European policies, such as, for example, the Startup and Scale-Up strategy that was very recently launched, and to see how knowledge valorization connect to the broader policy frame for innovation and research.
Thank you very much, Iphigenia. It's really interesting that you highlight this policy advice, policy support element that maybe doesn't come to mind right away when we think about knowledge valorization, but definitely it's a key element. And I think that knowledge valorization actors and intermediaries like a science park, Esteban, you probably can tell us more about this, but definitely play a key role in the connection with the territory, so the public authorities within the territories, and making sure that innovation is well tailored and really helpful to the needs of the territory. And that's where probably the societal engagement becomes even more important. So in relation to this, Esteban, what on your side, so we have talked about, let's say, the European scale, but more on a local scale. How does this translate for you, and what is happening, what is boiling in Alicante? We don't hear you at the moment. Yeah,
sorry.
perfect. Thank you.
As was saying in the previous question, we are a paradigm of knowledge valorization in theory, because we have 50 companies with a turnover of more than 280 millions of euros, and they invest about 15 million of euros each year. But in reality, it has it's lagging an element to be a mature element. And I'm going to explain you, because we have here a connection with the society in terms of providing. So people are developing things, but we are not counting with the civil society to develop things. So we are testing elements. So when we speak about the quadruple helix, the fourth one, which is not the government, the academia, and the companies, is there with a less relevant role. And we are missing these four helix in having an active role. And our idea is that the participation of citizens is crucial, because we have to leverage and to have in the investment of innovation all the assets in the territory. And we are missing this, something that could be a competitive advantage of the territory in Alicante, and something that make us to suspect that we were not very well there, but we have been lucky, and we have the Covalu project. We have previously discussed with the municipality this type of things. They have a citizen lab as well, that we were able to transfer to us some requests of the civil society, but this was far beyond co-creation. And this is, we are in that process through the Covalu project. We are learning that with the complicity and support of the municipality that is supporting us in engaging the civil society on really bringing our companies to work together closely with the civil society through focus group workshop, in order to really co-create and to co-develop. It's not a matter of knowing if they like or they dislike something in the civil society, or they have any problems, or the people or the future customers. It's really to empower the assets that we have close to us, in order to identify new products, or to identify better products that will answer these needs. And we are learning, so we cannot teach you for the moment, so we can tell you how many doubts we have. But in general, we have three things clear. The first one is it is something that has to be customized, should be done locally, because in our case, by chance, we have a welcoming municipality, but maybe you have a development agency or the Chamber of Commerce, we don't know, or the civil society is more developed than here in Alicante. It depends. So, but customized ideas are very important in order to give the power to the people. The second idea that we have is that, and it's a suggestion, profiting that Iphigenia is here, is that Horizon Europe and the European policies are very useful for us because it's a model. So at the end, the local administration or the regional administration and the policy makers are always looking at the most advanced research and innovation programs, which are Horizon Europe. So the ideas that you are setting us there gives the self-esteem and the possibility, the seal that to implement things locally. And the third one that we are clear is that otherwise we are missing opportunities, is what I told you. I think the competitive advantage of our territories, and especially in the whole of Europe, is that we have a strong civil society. Why don't we mix them with our companies and our researchers in order to make things better in research and innovation and to have even more profitable or better adapted projects and products?
Yeah, thank you very much, Esteban. It's really important, I think, to hear this, especially from actors like you supporting knowledge valorization, and probably also there is also an important element with the fact that some of the innovations that are appearing within these knowledge valorization processes might also face big challenges and problems, if not failure, hopefully not, but the societal uptake of these innovations is key and many times not very much taken into account from what we are seeing also within the knowledge valorization processes. So looking into this, it sounds like there is really still a strong need for things to move forward, probably also in terms of capacity building, etc. So now that we have had a bit of a look at what is already happening and what is out there, let's maybe look as a next step at the future. You have both already mentioned a bit what is coming up at both European and local level, but maybe we can dig a bit deeper into both strategies, policies, European initiatives. I think, Iphigenia, you have touched upon a very important point about competitiveness and how knowledge valorization needs to really play a role within it. But then probably it's key for Europe, and it's something very special in Europe for this to happen, taking into account also society and where society wants to go. So yes, let's maybe have a last round. And again, I invite participants, if you have questions, to not hesitate to start thinking about them or posting in the chat. But what is boiling, what is there in terms of future trends, tools, opportunities that we can look into to address these emerging needs within this field? So maybe, Iphigenia, if you'd like to start.
Yes, so also listening to Esteban, I think what is important, and we have this as the main theme today, is engagement. Is engagement of many people, of the citizens, of the civil society, of the researchers. So I just want to first show, if I can. I lost it now. It will come. Can you see or no?
Not yet, but maybe
Not
it will
yet.
come.
I hope it will come, because I want to show you a little bit some ways to engage also with us. Like Angela spoke about the platform of the reinforcing project, you probably know that we also have a knowledge valorization platform, which is also a repository of best practices for knowledge valorization. It includes more than 100 best practices, and it is a way to share knowledge also, and to learn from each other in practice. But it's also a tool to get informed, to follow our initiatives. Thank you very much, Marcia. Okay, so and to find a lot of information about our work and about how to engage with us. There is also a newsletter that you can subscribe. You can find this also on the Knowledge Valorization platform, so as to be connected to this community, which is really, really very, very broad, as I hope I have tried to explain. Now, if I go now, this one I really need to be able to share. One second.
Give me a second. I will stop sharing mine, but having some troubles with this.
Yes, it's a bit difficult in.
Okay, I've stopped sharing. You should be able now.
Let me try again. Otherwise, I have to say it, and then I will send you the information, because for some reason I cannot go to the slide.
In the same, in the meantime, I would like to say that we have shared links to the code of practice on citizen engagement, the survey, the link to the survey mentioned by Iphigenia to contribute to the conversation with the European Commission, and the usage and the suggestion to improve the 4 codes of practice. And you can also find the information on the Knowledge Valorization platform just presented by Iphigenia, with best practices, news, and events in which you would like to participate to continue the conversation on this topic. And also the link to the CoValue project, which is the EU-funded project on citizen engagement in knowledge valorization, in which Esteban, as team leader of the Parque, Scientific Park of Alicante, is partnering with the Stickydot, Bassetti Foundation, and Artel in Emilia-Romagna to working on implementing pilots on citizen engagement in knowledge valorization. So just to provide you with this information, you can find on the chat.
Okay, I cannot download the slides now, but I can just tell you a little bit, and I think I can send it later, or this information also you can find in the knowledge valorization platform. So what I wanted to refer to is a little bit what is currently open, like our calls in which are now open for participation. We have the knowledge valorization topics. Part of them are under cluster 4 for those who are more accustomed to the structure of Horizon Europe. So they are under the digital and space part of the work program, and they are also part of the widening participation and strengthening the European research area part of the work program. And what currently we have launched is under the cluster 4, there are 2 calls for standardization. One is a continuation of the Horizon Standardization Booster, which provides support for projects to standardization, and a tool for standardization landscape analysis. And then there are 2 topics which support market uptake. The one is with artificial intelligence for knowledge valorization. So it's a topic that uses the power of artificial intelligence to support market uptake. And the other one is value creation pilots for scaling up innovative solutions. So this is about preparing pilots so that they are ready for a scale up, not doing the scale up, but doing all the phase of the preparation for scale up. And then we have 2 very interesting, I think also for this community, open areas, we call them. So they are like topics, but because they are part of a bigger call, which is about rolling out the results of the European research area from the first years of the European research agenda. And the one that we are working on is to establish a European network of knowledge valorization intermediaries. And of course, not only to establish a network, but also to support them to have activities for the researchers and the stakeholders. But this is important because, as I said from the beginning, we think of intermediaries as being a very broad range of organizations, which sometimes are not so visible as intermediaries. And the idea of this network is to give recognition and visibilities to all organizations that play this role, and to bring them together, to support them, and to enable them in this way to play an even stronger and more effective role in implementing the knowledge valorization policy and supporting researchers. And the other topic, again, very interesting for this community, is focusing on the knowledge and technology transfer professionals in universities and research performing organizations, so classical knowledge transfer organizations, how to upgrade their services, especially knowing now that with knowledge valorization, there are new needs. For example, there is the aspect of societal engagement, which maybe was not in their portfolio of activities in the past, but is now very important with a new approach to knowledge valorization. So how can they be better equipped to promote the new approach and to take into account citizen engagement, policy uptake, and not just IPR commercialization and some of the areas which were very much part of their work in the past as well. So I stop here. I think we don't have so much time, but happy to answer any questions. And as I said, happy to, if you want to engage with us through the knowledge valorization, there is also an email address and you can contact us for any questions.
Thank you very much, Iphigenia. Maybe I hand over to you also, Esteban, for also a bit of a look into the future before we tend to wrap up. And again, if you have questions, please don't hesitate to use the chat. Esteban, you have to open your microphone first.
Again, sorry, I'm going to be very short. For the future, what we need is examples. So we are in the process of seven connection between companies and civil society, but we as local practitioners, what we need more examples. For us, for example, as an organization, it has been great to start this journey because give us a closer working relation with the municipality of Alicante, which is the municipality where the science park is established, and as well with the water utility company. And so it's as a self-benefit beyond what we are doing is the relation that we establish with the local stakeholders are closer. So I tell you, but we need other people that doing that. And people are very important. People, I say the persons, not only the institutions, because they are involved in this process. They feel that they have an engagement and they will do changes that will be part of the process and they will see the benefits at the end. So this is something that for us is quite relevant, and we need other people that doing similar things and tell us how, because as we said, this is something that is very peculiar, very local, but we need overall examples and guidance in order to replicate them in our territories.
Thank you very much, Esteban. And maybe we can also mention that within the context of, so now I'm wearing for a second the CoValue hat, and within the context of CoValue, we will also be delivering after the summer some very interesting capacity building opportunities, as well as, well, in person and online, as well as shadowing opportunities. So for example, if you'd like to go and see what is happening in Alicante, and our other test site is in Emilia-Romagna in Italy, we will also have opportunity for just a few people to be able to see what is happening, how we are concretely doing all this. We just have a couple of minutes left. I see a question in the chat asking about who can apply to these calls. Definitely the focus, I think, and if Iphigenia correct me if I'm wrong, is on the European region, but there are many other associated or connected countries that can join proposals also beyond Europe. So there is a lot of information on the Commission portal on this, but you definitely need to build a consortium, I think, that includes at least some European partners. Maybe so a huge thank you to Iphigenia and Esteban. I think we could spend much longer time discussing all this. It has been very useful. Angela, maybe if you'd like to say just a couple of words on then again connecting with how reinforcing is also helping and supporting. You already mentioned the calls, but I don't know if there is maybe a last message that you'd like to share with the participants.
Yeah, definitely. What Esteban just said about examples, best practices. Of course, there is this platform on knowledge valorization with plenty of examples of good initiatives already run in this direction. But I suppose that also reinforcing can provide some examples and best practices, perhaps not called knowledge valorization, but more on the realm of responsible innovation. But I think these two big concepts can really resonate with each other because we are talking about including societal voices, enlarging the audience as active participants of research and innovation processes, and also in the design of research and innovation policies. So the vision is the same, very often the methodology are the same. So definitely we see a fruitful dialogue between ORRI concept and what reinforcing can do in this context, providing services and supports and resources to support actors that would like to embark on open responsible research and innovation, but also on meaningful and effective knowledge valorization. So I think there could be a long-standing dialogue between the two platforms, but also between the communities that more or less are constituted of the same actors willing to get the research and innovation more open, more responsible, more meaningful for the whole society. So I think we can share best practices in the future after the ending of Covelio, but also after many other grantees that we have supported in reinforcing and try to find commonalities, challenges to be overcome, and to go together to this direction.
Thank you very much, Angela. And just a reminder that this was the first appointment of many to come for this reinforcing insights. We have another one coming up on the 1st of July, where we will focus on another key aspect of open responsible research and innovation. We will be talking about how this can be integrated into research assessment. So something this time we will be looking more at the research field, but definitely another key topic for us to tackle. Thank you very much. I hope this was useful for all of you. We will make the recording available online together with links to the many resources that we have shared today. And I wish you a very nice rest of the day. Thank you very much also, of course, to our speakers. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.